In this video, we're going to be covering products, the product edit screen. I'm trying to take these videos in progression from starting a new store and going through and doing it in the order that at least I feel would be the logical order. We started with setting up your store, then setting up and dealing with categories to get ready for importing, and then we dealt with importing. And now the result of importing is obviously products. So let's go take a look. Go down here to products. And after you've done an import, you'll have a lot of products. I've done MGE and Xanders on my test server. And let's go to the last page. There's 981 pages, and I've only imported from 2 suppliers. So if you're doing 4 or 5 or 6 suppliers, I mean, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of products in here, okay? Even products that have gone into your bucket, all products that have been imported or added show up here. All right, by default, they're ordered by in-house quantity. This is the quantity on hand. That's this number right here. So that when you come over here and click, you're going to see the products that you have in stock physically show up first every time. Obviously, I don't have any, so they're all 0. In case you haven't noticed yet, when you do imports, the SKUs get created for you automatically from the either the item number that whatever the distributor or the supplier uses, and then it's appended with an abbreviation for who it is. So in this case, this is MGE. This is Xanders. Davidson's, I think, is DAV, and Lipsy's is LIP, and so forth. You get the idea. That way you can just look at it, whether it's here or on an invoice or on an order or whatever, and you know where this product's coming from. Okay. A lot of things here are self-explanatory. And this is true on any list like this that has, it's called a table, and it has headers. If these are clickable, then you can sort by them. So say you wanted to sort by the cost. This is the sorting by the cost, ascending, lowest to highest. If you wanted to reverse that and go highest to lowest, that's an expense. Those are always real expensive. You know, it costs you, you know, $7,000, almost $8,000 for that gun. And Xanders has one. So if you want it, better get it now. Let's see, can't sort by these things. But you know, if you can click on a header, you can sort by it. We'll go back to the default here. Descriptions can be very long, and there's limited space here. So if you want to view the description, just click on it in a little window. This is what it would look like on the website. Some distributors like Gun Accessory Supply, and I think maybe Green Supply, maybe a couple others, give you HTML formatted descriptions so that when they show up on your store, they've already got line breaks, and you know, if they want to make it bold or whatever, it's already like that. So this is handy for those, because when this pops up, you'll see it just like it looks on your store. All right. This is, you know, anytime you see anything like this, everybody knows what paginations are, but just in case you don't, this is how you can jump from page to page. It shows, I think, I don't know, 25 or 30 products per page. Any more than that, and it would start slowing down. You've seen this before in categories with selected. So if you wanted to do certain things on a bunch of products at once, you would check them, select them here. You can select all of them on the page with that, or deselect them. You can set their status. You can put them in or out of the featured products section. You can change their categories. You can add or remove tags. This import block, we'll get into what import block is here in a minute. This may be removed. I don't think there's a lot of usefulness out of putting this in the with selected. lot of times, most every time, if you're setting or removing import block, you're going to want to change the value. Well, at least if you're removing or setting the import block, you're going to want to change the value to what you want it to be. That's the whole point of import block. So remove maybe, but there's a lot more than just categories that can go here, and there's limited space. So I kind of feel like this probably will go away in the future. If you've got an opinion on that, let me know. And but for now, I'll leave this. But just keep in mind that this may go away. Okay, so and here's your list, and it gives you some, some other information, whether you're importing this product and the condition. Obviously, most of these are going to say yes and new. But if you're adding your own products, that would be no for a manually added product, and the condition would be whatever you said the condition would be. And we'll get into that here in a minute too. Okay, so still on this screen, obviously you select, change what you want to change. You can do multiple things. You can say all of these products that I've selected, I want them to be active. I want them to be in the featured products. You can set the category. You can do all of these things that, set up each and every one, or just two, and then hit go, and that will apply. If you want to delete the selected products, you do that. Again, I covered this in the importing video, but I'll mention it here. Do not delete a product that you don't want to import, because it will just come back the next time the import runs. Just put it in a bucket category or any disabled category, and it will never show up on your store. But if you delete it, it will come back. So just thought that would be worth mentioning again. Okay, the product, here's where you add a new product. That's pretty self-explanatory. It looks just like the edit screen. We'll get into that in a minute. The product filter, this can be maybe a little daunting to some people. There's a lot here, but when you have 100,000, 200,000 products, you need to be able to find what you're looking for. So I put as many searchable things on here as you can, so you can really narrow it down. We'll do some real basic examples here, but you can really pinpoint down what you're trying to find. Although, keep in mind, like if you're searching for a specific product, say that's on your home page, and you want to see, who else has it. So let's say we're looking for this, okay? And, here's the model number, C-9s. Well, you can't just come over here and put, C9. Now, you can, but you're not going to find it, okay? It has to be exactly what that is. So you have to put, C-9. Now, it doesn't have to match upper and lower case, but it has to be there. Now you got all of them. See? Now, if Xander's were to label theirs C9 and MGE labeled theirs C-9, then obviously this filter would only find the C-9. So this is where, computers are very, very specific about, everything has to be exact. So just keep that in mind. So here's a good example. Let's say, and then to reset your filter, just hit that button, and that puts it back to like if you just came over here and clicked products. So let's say we wanted to find Sig Sauers. Well, you would think, oh, we'll come over here and we'll say the manufacturer equals Sig Sauer. All right. I happen to be a big Sig fan. Well, only one. Well, now I know that between Xander's and MGE, they sell all kinds of Sig Sauer stuff. So what's going on here? Well, the manufacturer is Sig Sauer, but I think maybe we may have been too restrictive. We said manufacturer equals Sig Sauer. Well, okay, let's broaden it out as much as we can. Let's say the manufacturer contains the word Sig. Whoops. Okay. Oh, now we've got 17 pages here. Well, there's a lot of stuff here. All right, but what's this? This isn't Sig Sauer. This is XS Night Systems. Well, remember we said manufacturer contains SIG. Well, it just so happens that this contains SIG. All right, so I mean that worked because the manufacturer contained SIG. All right, that's not the word SIG. It just does it have SIG in there and somewhere. This does too. It has SIG in it right there. So that may be a little too broad. So let's say the manufacturer starts with the word SIG. All right. Now we've narrowed it down. We've only got 12 pages instead of, I think it was 17. And this really seems to be, what we're looking for. Obviously, this isn't a SIG, but it starts with SIG. Okay. So you're not going to, usually if you're searching for a manufacturer, you're going to get some that don't belong, but for the most part, you're going to get everything that Sig Sauer that you sell that's Sig Sauer. Now, we only want handguns, okay? So we'd say we'd keep this, and we'd come down here and we'd say the category is firearms, handguns. All right, filter. Now we've got Sig Sauer handguns. 4 pages of Sig Sauer handguns. Okay. If there was a manufacturer called, Signature Series or whatever, it would show up. But this really narrowed it down for what we're looking for. Okay. Now let's say we wanted just to find P226s. We'd say model contains, I would use contains 226. Some manufacturers might put the P226. Some of them might say 226 Legion or 226 whatever, but we just want 226 in general, so we would use contains, and we filter, and now we've got 1 page. And see, this is the 226 Legion. This is, they call this alloy stainless elite. So if we said equals, none of these would have come up. So we said contains 226. And there, that's how you can really narrow down and find what you're looking for. Now the caliber isn't, or capacity, either one, are a field here because they don't apply to most things. I mean, they really only apply to firearms, ammunition, and or magazines. And they may apply to, barrels and stuff like that, but these need to be very broad fields so that you can search, just about everything. So if we wanted to find 9mm 226s, what I would do is I would search the description contains 9mm. Now, you might not find all of them this way, but you'll find most of them. Say 9mm, 9mm. If we wanted 45, this could be a little tricky because some might be ACP, some might just say 45. So we'll just say description contains 45 and see what we got. Know. Okay. Let's try just ACP. Nothing. I don't know, maybe SIG doesn't make a 45 in the 226. I know they make a 40 because I own one. Let's see about 40. There's the 40s. And this one snuck in, and let's find out why. The description. See, the Xanders has mislabeled their caliber, or their description. They've either used the description from a 40 Smith & Wesson on their 9mm, or they've used, they've put the wrong caliber on there, or who knows. But this is going to happen. And when you find these discrepancies, you got to fix them. And so this is a good example of why we would want to do an import block. Okay, so let's go in here and edit this. Okay, and here's the product edit screen. There's a lot here, but it's really not that big a deal. Okay, so we're importing this product. It says so right there, and that's why these are grayed out, because you get this information from the distributor. All right, you obviously don't get the amount that you have on hand from the distributor, so you can edit this one, but you can't change how much the distributor has. They give you that number, and that's, you can't do anything about it. So a lot of this stuff you cannot change because it's coming from the distributor. Okay, but there's some things you may want to change. For example, the category. This is auto mapped to this category, and remember, if you remember from the categories video, you can't change the mapping on firearms. They go to the designated categories, but you can change it after the fact. Let's say you wanted to create a category just for P226s because you want to showcase them for a while, and you can create that category, and you can come over here and you can say block. Okay, so what this does is, if you turn that on, this will block the import process from putting them into the mapped categories, and you can change and you can save this particular gun. Now, not all 226s, just this one. You'll have to do this for every product you want to do this on, and then you choose the category you want to put it in. Let's say if I want to put it in vests for whatever reason. If it's your store, you can do whatever you want. You would do that, hit save, and then every time this particular gun is imported from Xanders, only Xanders, it will go into this category. I don't really want to do that, so I'm not going to do that. This stuff, maybe not, could be, editable. These aren't being used on the store anywhere. This is mainly just for your reference. At some point we may start putting it, but the distributors, I mean, they all include or exclude different, attributes and stuff like that. So, it's really kind of hard to get a consistent core list of these things. This is put on here basically for your reference only. Cost, price is one that you may not, that pricing formula doesn't work very well for this particular product. I want it to be this particular price. I'd rather sell it for $12.95. So you can block the auto pricing and set the price that you want. You can turn this on and you can change all of the dimensions and weight in one shot. Okay. Can't change the caliber. This is coming from the distributor. Maybe this should be one that could be unblocked if it's wrong. But really they need to fix this, because if it's this or if it's their description, one or the other, is wrong. So what I would probably do is find the UPC, go to SIG's website or somebody else's website, or you can search for it here. I don't think anybody else has it, and see what's wrong, if it's the caliber or if it's the description. If it's the description, you can change it. If it's the caliber, the distributor's going to need to fix their data feed. So this may be something, and this may be something that needs to have a block on it, but time will tell. I don't know yet. So you can obviously you can change that to used if you want. Now here's the thing: if you're going to buy some of these and have them in your store, then I wouldn't go up and do an add a new product. First, what I would do is I would get the UPC code. Let's say that you bought, some of these, okay, and you got them in your store. You got them in. You open the box. You've got them in. You've logged them into your book, You put them in your case, but you also want to sell them on your website. Well, you could go up here and say new, right, and put in all this information. The problem is, um, if you put in uh, the UPC and the supplier, and you've already imported that model, that product, you can't have another one for Xander's. You can't have two records of the same product with UPC code with the same distributor. There'd be conflicts during the import. It won't let you do it. It'll say you've already exist. So what I would do is, if I'm ordering something for my store, I would first come over here and find out if it's something that I'm importing, and anything that you're importing has a UPC code. By the way, if distributors are put products in their data feeds and there's no UPC code, it's not going to get imported, because that's the only uniquely identifiable ID that is the same no matter where you buy it from. So they have to have a UPC code to be brought into the imports. Just a little tip there. So if I bought some of those guns and I wanted to make sure that I am or am not importing them, I'd come over here to the UPC code and I'd get it off the box or whatever, and I'd filter. Okay, yep, there it is. I'm already importing this gun from Xander's. I can't add a new record for it. It already exists. But what I can do is I can come in here and I can say, well, I've got 3 of these now on hand. Okay, and I can save it. Well, I did save a new. I didn't want to do save a new, but that's fine. Cancel. Now, see, this shows up at the top of the list because we've got 3 on hand. See? That's how that works. Now, if you got one of these in on a trade, so it's a used gun, I wouldn't come in here and change this to used, because that would apply to all of them. So in this particular case, used guns, you didn't get them from a supplier. So you absolutely could add these as add new. Just don't put a supplier here. You can put the UPC code and everything else, and it won't matter that it's being imported because there's no supplier. Okay. So the UPC and the supplier are what are important when it comes to uniqueness, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So everything else that you can do here, since you're not importing, you can edit everything on when you're adding products. The meta tags are just like in the categories. It's for search engines. Be specific. The imported fields creates these for you when you import based on manufacturer, model, caliber, short descriptions. It adds the word for sale to it, just for, search engine, what am I looking for? Optimization, I guess, or exposure. It inserts the same description that's up here that comes from the distributor, and then it creates some keywords based on manufacturer, model, caliber, the UPC code. Those all help with the search engine, but you can totally change these however you want per product. Okay, same with this, same with the features. If you found out that it really is a 9mm, you can come down here and block and change that to say, 9mm or whatever. And then supplier data. Oh, subtract stock. What is this? And this tells you. So since we've got 3 on hand, if someone came onto my website and bought one of these, if I had that set to yes and they bought one, then this would automatically be reduced to 2. Okay. This is by default no on imports. But if you didn't want to, let's say you wanted to leave this 3 on hand and someone came and bought one on your website, you may want to keep the 3 that you have on hand and order one for that person. If that's the case, you would want this set to no, so this would stay to 3. I mean, I don't know why you would do that, but you may want to, and I try to keep everything as customizable as possible. Any product that requires an FFL, you need to make sure this is set to yes. I covered that in the importing, I believe, or one of the other videos, but this is real important because if this is set to yes, it will force them to include FFL information at checkout. If it's ammo, and for shipping purposes and whatnot. The same with ammo. If it's California, if they're buying something and shipping it to California, if it's ammunition, it's going to require an FFL. This needs to be set to yes on all things ammunition so that those things will happen. Also for choosing the proper shipping service that allows ammunition. You can't ship ammunition via the U.S. Post Office. So if this is ammunition that's on an order, it's not going to let them choose, USPS shipping. But if that's not set right, it could accidentally let them choose USPS shipping. When it comes time for you to fulfill the order, though, you don't have to use whatever they chose. You've got the option to use whatever you know is correct, but just so you know that there's a lot of places where this information is used. So these need to be correct. If you change this to disabled, the product won't show up. You can do this to disable certain products, but without disabling the entire category. So let's say you just, for whatever reason, you didn't want to sell this gun. Let's say, there's a lot of problems with it, or there's a safety hazard, or whatever. You can come over here, turn on the block, change this to disabled, save, and it will not be put on your store. The rest of the products in the category are, but this one won't, and it'll go away. Supplier data, this is just for reference. This is everything that came from the distributor on the import. Not all of these are used on your site, but this is so you can see the raw data as it exists in the import file from the distributor. This is untouched. This isn't changed in any way. This is exactly as it comes, and every distributor will have different fields over here. This is just from Xander's. This is what they include. All right. Images. This is the image that came in on one of the imports. You can delete that image. You can view the image. Okay. If you want to add another image, you can click this. This is the file manager. These are the folders, and basically the image file name that comes from the distributor. This is what they start with. You have to break it up, or you would have one folder with literally hundreds of thousands of images. So, I mean, even though I'm breaking it up based on what they start with, I mean, you're still going to have a lot of stuff in here. So, for whatever reason, it's not wanting to open for me. I think I might need to refresh or something, or it might be my browser. I'm using Safari. If you wanted to upload, yeah, it's my browser. If you wanted to upload an image, oh, come on, you silly browser. It does this to me sometimes. My browser does. It likes to stall. I'm going to pause this and I'll come back when it's, pour some coffee on it or something. Okay. Didn't really pour coffee on it, but had to restart my my testing server. It was acting up. So you can browse for images. Just click on the folder, and it may take a minute because there's a lot of things in there that it needs to index or whatnot. I think that's what happened. I got impatient, and now this just worked. So if you want to upload, You just come over here, click the upload button. You can drag a file here or just click and you can browse for the file and it will upload it into whatever folder you're viewing at the time. And then you can choose it. And I don't know why it's acting weird on me. My server is, my development server is acting up. I'll be right back. Okay, we'll try this one more time. So, you can click, this is what you should get. And this will take a few seconds or several seconds or maybe a couple minutes to load all of these thumbnails, because if you've got a folder like this one, there's a bunch of them. Okay, there they come. You might have to jump start it by scrolling. Sometimes they don't load, and if you just drag this, they'll pop up. So find the image that you want to put with it, and for now, let's just choose that one. And you don't have to save, it's automatic. Okay. And let's say I would rather this one be the main image. Whatever is the first image here is going to be the main image on the product screen and on your store. So you can drag it and that reorders it. You don't have to save, it's automatic. All right. We want to be able to find this, so I'm going to copy that UPC code. Now, notice that that's that gun. There's the quantity of 3, but we made the case the main image. Okay. If we was to come over here and search for that UPC code in the store, you know, there it is. Obviously, there's the second image. The image order here is also the image order here. Obviously, we don't want that gun case to be the main image, so we would come over here and drag that back over. And if we refresh this page, then that shows up. So obviously, having this is silly. So we can delete it. Now, this doesn't delete it from the server unless it's not being used by any other product, and then it will delete it from the server. And it doesn't matter, because if you re-import that product from another distributor later, that's going to pull in the image if they offer it. If it's not being used, I mean, there's really no reason to keep it on there. So, I mean, that's all you can do. So we delete it, and it's gone. And if we come over here and hit refresh, that's the only image. Be patient with the file manager. I think I was just getting a little carried away. It should be a lot faster and smoother on the live site. My development server is a tiny little puny thing that really isn't up to par with production, but it doesn't need to be for what I'm doing. So that's that. If you want to create a new folder, you can do that, and you can create a new file or create a new folder. If you want to put all your stuff into a folder, you can. Depending on what you're uploading for, you're going to see different things. This is the products area. If you're uploading background images for your store layout, you're not going to see all of this. You're going to be in a different area. That's my production server. Don't worry about that. If you're uploading, I can't remember all the different places you can upload. You're uploading manufacturer banner slider things, or uploading banner images for your category page, or uploading layout homepage banners. There'll probably be different area, because there's different parts of your server's storage that are sectioned off for different things. That way you don't have to wade through all the product images to find a banner you uploaded last week or last month or something like that. So it'll look different to you. Let's try this again. I'm just curious what's going on there. So just be patient with it. Click and wait. Um, it should, it should come in and be fine on the production server. Like I said, my test server is puny. If you're having lots of trouble with the file manager, let me know. I need to know that, but I've not had any problems with it on the production server. It's pretty fast and pretty responsive. Products, I don't know what else is left to cover. That pretty much is everything. There's not a lot here. It's very specific to products. Um, if you have questions on any of this, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them and include them in the FAQs if it's a common question. So that ought about wrap it up for products. One thing I didn't mention is tags. Tags are for, like, there's like maybe only one place that I know of right now where tags are useful, and that's in sales and specials. So if you wanted to have a sale, okay, you can choose categories and put everything in that category on sale. Like, for example, this one, I have all handguns are on sale. But let's say I didn't want all handguns. I just wanted specific products. Well, the only real way of doing that is by tags. So over here, if you put tags, summer sale or something, okay, on all the products that you wanted in that sale, let's go ahead and save that. Then you could come over here, and now your tags will show up, and you choose the tags you want. So then only products that have, and you can have a bunch here, but I only have one. I just created it. Choose the products that contain the tags that you want, and you can mix and match. You can say I want all ammo plus any product with these chosen tags. Hit save, and then that's what will be in this special or this sale. So that's what tags are for. I don't think tags are used anywhere else right now, but it will probably come into play later as more features get added. I don't think it's used in vouchers at all. No, just on the sales. So that's what tags are for. And again, on the products list, you can, use your search, narrow it down as much as you can, choose as many products as you can on the screen, and then add the tag to them. You don't have to do edit one at a time. Find them on your list, choose them, select them, come over here and say add the tag. Click go, and it'll put that tag, and you can comma separate and put, whatever you want. Separated by commas, and that's how you add more than one tag to a product. And you can also remove tags the same way. If you're removing, it's not a comma separated list. It's just, this is the tag I want to remove, because you can't remove a list because it could be saved in any order. You could have summer sale, comma, blowout, comma, whatever on one, and then the other one you would have blowout, comma, whatever, comma, summer sale. So when you're removing, it's specific. Remove this tag. When you're adding, you can have one or more separated by commas. Okay. And that's how you do that. And that's what tags are for. Right now, they're only used for sales. On down the line, if you need to single out specific products, that's probably going to be how you do it. It's just there's nothing using them right now. I put tags in there specifically for the sales, but I know they'll probably get used somewhere else. So another thing to know about any screen that's paginated and has selections, you have to do what you want to do before you go up here. So because if you choose these and say you wanted to go on, I wanted to do, page 2, I wanted to select these, and then you did this, it's only going to apply to these, because what you did over here is a completely new URL up here. So you have to do these with selected on the page that you're viewing. You can't go through all pages and choose them and then hit this and think that it's going to apply to all of them across all the pages. It won't. It's only the page you're viewing. Okay, and that's true on any page that has one of these with selected that has a paginator. Categories doesn't paginate for a good reason. You need to see all your categories on one page, on one screen. So that's not a big deal, but products and anywhere else that may have the paginator up there with this, it's just for the page you're viewing. Okay, I really think that does wrap it up. Again, if you have any questions, let me know, and I'm going to shut this down and get it put online. So it's Monday. Yay. Have a good Monday if it's Monday for you when you're watching this. And I will, the next video, I don't know what it's going to be about. Waiting to see what kind of questions start coming in after this. I probably will cover one of the, we need to do sales and specials and vouchers. I can probably do one video for both of them. Although they're fairly self-explanatory, I may wait and see if I get a lot of questions about that. We may go up here and start working on things like, well, I know what we need to do. We need to do orders. What happens when you get an order? What do you do? That's going to be my next video. So orders and purchase orders, they kind of go together. So that will be the next one. So stay tuned. Thank you.